Tracy and the Big D. Well, it's just the Big D here by himself tonight. As you know, Tracy's a little unwell tonight, but she'll be back on deck next week. All will be good. It's a real pleasure to have this next guest. My eldest sister was an absolute Gaga fan over this bloke when he was around in the 70s. He's back with a country album now, and I know there'll be a lot of ladies who are fans of Class of 74, Class of 75, you know, the pop scene in the 1970s around Australia. And I speak of the one and only Marty Rhone, and he joins us now. Thanks for joining us, Marty, and welcome to Country Music.
Thanks, Darren, and I'm sorry that I don't get the pleasure of speaking to Tracy, but please pass on my condolences, and maybe we'll catch up next time.
Yes, she'll absolutely look forward to it. And she's been spruiking this song and talking about Graceland on the Line. It probably even encompasses the sound that Elvis Presley himself had as a country singer.
Look, a number of people have commented on that fact, and that was intentional on the producers and the songwriters' part. They approached me early last year, and I speak of Johnny Young, who everybody would know. He wrote The Real Thing, of course, for Russell Morris, and Johnson Peters, who's a very well-known Australian international performer. And they contacted me and said, look, we've got this song called Graceland on the Line, which we want to release in 2017 to coincide with the 40th anniversary of the sad passing of Elvis Presley. And so they sent me the song, and I loved it. The first time I heard it, I asked the obvious question, why did you pick me out, guys? And they said, because we wanted to be like some of those great Elvis ballads of back in the 60s. And we felt your voice would suit the song, and went to the studio, and I'm pleased to say that they've done a great job in producing the single, and I think it tells a great story, and it's a great song.
It's one of those things everyone can always remember where they were the day they found out the news. I know I was on school holidays in Toowoomba in August 1977. Where were you, Marty?
I just hopped off a plane at Heathrow Airport in London, and I'd hopped on a double-decker bus, my first visit to London. And I was on a double-decker bus travelling into the city, and I looked out and I saw these news placards, those big news banner placards out the front of the news stores saying, "The King is dead." And I'm thinking to myself, hang on, am I in the right country? I could have sworn England had a queen. And then, of course, it wasn't until I got into the city that I realised that they were referring, of course, to Elvis Presley. But I honestly didn't put two and two together when I saw those placards on the street. And I'd been flying for 24 hours, so the news was all new to me, but I was, of course, like everyone else, extremely shocked when I found out that it was, in fact, Elvis Presley.
We're speaking with Marty Rhone. He's got a brand new single out that, and it's part of a couple of songs that's going to be released throughout the year as well, Marty.
Yeah, look, I've just returned from Los Angeles, where I've spent the last 8 or 9 weeks. And while I was in the US, I was offered a recording deal by a very well-known record producer there by the name of David Holman. When I mention what he's done, people will realise just, what a well-credentialed record producer he is. David produced the award-winning soundtracks for the movies Grease, Xanadu, Cocktails with Tom Cruise and Brian Brown, and also was the producer for Gwen Stefani and No Doubt and Olivia Newton-John. He actually recorded Physical, Olivia Newton-John's great hit. And they heard Graceland on the Line and asked for a meeting with me. And they hadn't seen the music video at the time. And I played them the music video, and they loved what they saw, loved what they heard. And they said, we're starting a new record label, and we'd like you to be the exclusive country music signing. So here I was, over in the States for a different reason. And I was offered a record deal, and that's what's happened. I've recorded a couple of new songs, but we're putting together an album which will be released later this year.
As far as going in there and deciding that you're going to bring out some new music, was there ever a thought on which direction you wanted to go, Marty?
No, well, to be perfectly honest with you, Darren, I was of late very heavily, and I still am very heavily involved in my acting career. And I made a movie a couple of years ago, filmed in Queensland near Ipswich, called Rise, which was released in the US and Canada last year, and has done very well on some of the sites like Amazon and Netflix and platforms like that. And I'd actually gone to the US to further my acting career, and then, strangely enough, along came Graceland on the Line before I left for the US, and we decided to release it internationally out of Nashville. So I guess to answer your question, how did I get back into country in particular? Purely by accident, to be honest. The fact that I was offered a country song, a great country song, and now I've been offered a record deal as a country artist. Look, I'll take it with open arms because, I hadn't recorded a single for 40 years, and it's just ironic that it's the 40th year of the sad and premature passing of the King.
Well, over the last 12 or 18 months, we've had some wonderful guests that you've probably you would have rubbed shoulders with over the years here. People who've, in an earlier life, were in another direction. You mentioned Russell Morris before. Russell's had a couple of fantastic Roots albums out. We've had Russell Morris on board, and recently too, Joe Camilleri, of course, released a fantastic album including a great country song. So it's one of those things, and it's probably fair to say that a lot of the 70s music is a lot closer to the modern day country sound.
Oh, look, you're absolutely right. You've made a very, very good point. Country music in Australia 30 to 40 years ago was very traditional, but in recent times, due to the influence from the US country music has become less defined or less separated from contemporary music. A lot of country music today is crossover, or what we term in the industry is crossover, which means it can appeal to country fans and it can appeal to fans of other music like rock and roll or pop. Country music today is a lot rockier than it used to be. So in many ways, it allows artists like myself to make that crossover from what we used to do into country music. And I love what's around in country today. So therefore, to be given this opportunity is wonderful.
Well, it's been great to catch up with you tonight. If people want to find out about getting hold of your music, keeping in touch with what Marty Rhone's doing, what is the best way to do that?
Well, it's a very different music scene today than it was when I was recording Denim and Lace and A Mean Pair of Jeans. Today, for example, you can only obtain Graceland on the Line digitally. In other words, you can only obtain it by downloading it from iTunes or from Spotify. You can see the music video and purchase it on iTunes. And so therefore, it's probably something for people my vintage to try and get their head around, because no longer is it on vinyl. But I can tell you that the album that I release later this year will be in hard copy. So that's the good news. But if they'd like to see the music video of Graceland, and if they'd like to get the song, all you got to do is download it from iTunes and similar sites.
There it is, folks. Sit back. You're about to listen to a great piece of music written by a couple of Australians, well produced and sung by Australia's very own Marty Rhone. Great to catch up with you, Marty, and we look forward to catching up again soon.
Thanks, Darren, and give Tracy a kiss for me.
Here's Graceland on the Line.
Graceland on the Line.